Night Trap, a simple concept developed for a doomed console, resurrected years later to intense scrutiny and cemented in video game history. All for this.
Has anybody seen my chamois bag?
This is a game that many argue is all bark and no bite. Little more than a repetitive choose-your-own adventure title. But sometimes there's much more to a game than what's inside the box. And that's why I got myself a copy. If you're unfamiliar with this game and the history behind it, stick around. We're going to delve into this strange title, its history, and then we'll get hands-on and see what it's like to play today. This is Restore Revise, Night Trap, on Sega CD 32X. It's 1984. America is still reeling from the video game crash of the year before. A flood of different consoles and games, often of dubious quality, has driven consumers away from dedicated video game systems. It will be another 2 years before Nintendo, with its NES console and revolutionary marketing technique, will revive the industry. In contrast, Hasbro has seen enormous success with their toy lines and associated cartoons, comic books, and other cross-promotional media. Looking for more ways to leverage this effective strategy, Hasbro begins looking into replicating the arcade experience at home, using existing technology that most consumers already had in their homes, rather than a dedicated system. Their idea was codenamed NEMO, and it relied on some brilliant manipulation of the analog video signal present on a typical VHS tape. Using interleaved frames of video in conjunction with a buffer in the NEMO system itself, games could be created by embedding multiple tracks into a single videotape, and allowing the system to show a specific track to the player based on their choices. With clever planning by production and a complex network of decision trees woven by the developers, the game could play out differently depending on the choices and actions of the player, allowing for replayability beyond previous adventures into VHS game systems. If you have the time to learn more about it, I'd highly recommend checking this explainer out. Unfortunately, the system was usurped by the arrival of CD-ROMs, with their massive storage capacities and nonlinear read capabilities. Hasbro decided against releasing the NEMO system in 1988, but some of the people involved in the production of games for NEMO continued their work, and these games would later get another chance at life on Sega's CD add-on for the Genesis in 1992. The Sega CD added a significant amount of power to the Genesis, including hardware-driven sprite scaling and rotation effects. Storing game data on CDs offered the potential to increase the size of games well beyond what could fit on a cartridge. Some games also used the medium to include CD-quality audio in their games, allowing for nearly unlimited possibilities with soundtracks and sound effects. Where some developers saw the real potential of the add-on, though, was in its ability to play back limited full-motion video. This worked by having the Genesis display a grid of small pieces of each video frame, and having the pieces swapped out in real time by the Sega CD's hardware. This was genuinely cutting edge at the time, which is important to remember when the results seem lackluster by today's standards. It was through this capability that Night Trap and other games originally developed for the NEMO would get their chance at release. As soon as Night Trap finally hit the shelves, another roadblock would stand in its way. Even before full-motion video games were possible at home, the realism and graphic content of certain games was beginning to draw legal scrutiny from the United States Congress. The 1993 hearings are a long and interesting story, and we want to get to the game, so I'll give you the short version and recommend a full retelling that you can check out when you have the time. Essentially, some lawmakers were becoming increasingly concerned with the potential harm that could be caused by exposing children to violent and sexual interactive content through video games. While plenty of experiences existed that wouldn't appeal to kids by then, the medium was largely perceived as one for children and teens. Particular scrutiny was given to Mortal Kombat, whose graphic, if self-aware violence and fatality moves, Lethal Enforcers with its pack-in light gun resembling a comically large baby blue or hot pink revolver, and Night Trap, which Senator Joseph Lieberman famously claimed encouraged trapping women and draining their blood into wine bottles? What? Nintendo and Sega had a lot to say about lawmakers' concerns. Nintendo's strategy regarding video game content at the time was to place strict oversight on all games released for their platforms. Nintendo had the final say on content regarding drug use, sexual content, and religious imagery, among other categories, before a game would be licensed for their systems. Sega, on the other hand, didn't seek to control the content of games released for their systems, outside of quality assurance. They opted to create their own rating system to let parents and guardians know what sort of audience a game was appropriate for. It was similar to the MPAA's rating system for movies, something consumers were already familiar with. The more open attitude toward graphic content was fitting with the cool and edgy image Sega promoted and wished to maintain with their player base. Nintendo's Howard Lincoln claimed at the time that content like Night Trap would never appear on a Nintendo console, which is hilarious given that the 25th anniversary edition of Night Trap released on the Switch in 2018. The 1993 hearings eventually led to the creation of the Digital Software Association a year later, which formed the ESRB to rate the content of video games sold in North America. If you live in Europe, they're essentially our version of PEGI. While it's great that we have a standardized system for classifying and labeling content in interactive media now, I wish that Guardians would more often use it to make informed choices when it comes to deciding which games are appropriate for their children. I'm certainly not the only person who's been cursed out by someone well under half my age in a game intended for adults. And video game content is still a hot topic from time to time in the news. I don't think anyone involved in the development of Saints Row intends for the game to be played by a young audience, but it doesn't stop the medium as a whole from being blanket labeled as degenerate. I've experienced this sort of bias myself. I remember when Grand Theft Auto 4 came out, my dad was adamant I'd never play the game. I'm not sure why. My sister specifically remembers him pointing at a poster of Nico holding an assault rifle in the middle of a Best Buy and telling her, "That's why." But he gave me a copy of Saints Row 2 later that same year. Now, to be clear, I can't fault him for acting on information he had about GTA and not knowing anything about Saints Row. And I'm thankful my parents did their best to be mindful of the media I was consuming. I knew I was being cheeky when I asked for the less notorious game. But when Guardians aren't aware of the content warnings, you end up with these weird situations where a tragedy about an inevitable cycle of violence is taboo, but committing insurance fraud and chaperoning sex workers and their clients while they, conduct business is fine. But hey, way to be sex positive, Dad. And seriously, thanks for the game. It's still one of my favorites. Anyway, let's get back to the whole reason I made this video. Night Trap for Sega CD 32X. This is essentially the same game as the original Sega CD release, but it combines the expanded storage capabilities of the CD format with the enhanced graphical power of the Sega 32X. Only a few games of this type were released, and they're all full-motion video games like this one. Making all three systems work together is fairly complicated. Because the Sega CD and 32X aren't connected directly together, they have to swap data in and out of the Genesis's system RAM in order to share assets and game data. At this point, the Genesis isn't acting as much more than a glorified system bus and controller interface. It's still pretty cool as a unique piece of video game history, but I'm still holding hope that a retro game developer will be able to create something that makes a more compelling experience using the Tower of Power someday. As someone who got into vintage game collection specifically because of the 32X, I've always wanted one of these CD 32X games, and this channel gave me an excuse to get myself a copy. There's just something so bold about using three systems to play a single game that grabs my imagination. Anyway, let's cheat and use a guide so we can actually see the end of the game. Come with me. Thanks for coming to play this game with me. I don't think I could do this on my own without someone else to read.
Yeah, I'm happy to help.
We'll probably have to figure it out a little bit as we go along, because it's going to be, basically hopping between your computer and then the game and back and forth. But I think we'll be okay. We don't have to do perfectly to see the end of the game, or at least an end of the game. If there's a perfect ending, I'm not invested enough to see it, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Clear.
Clear picture.
I'm Sims. Scat Team Commander. Scat Mission 230. 5 teenage girls on their way to a weekend house party at the old Lakeshore Winery house of Mr. and Mrs. Victor Martin. And their 2 children, Jeff and Sarah. Your mission, protect those 5 girls from whatever happened to another bunch of teenagers. They disappeared after spending a night at the Martins. Last night, one of our agents got into the house and found a weird security system. Hidden cameras in almost every room and a series of traps. Our agent spliced an override into the security system, enabling you to control the cameras and the traps with this remote unit. The traps are protected with an access code. They won't work unless you enter the right code. Right now, that code is set at blue, and you have control of the traps. But anyone inside that house can change that code at any time. So listen in. Our override cable is here, in the back hallway. If anyone disconnects it, you lose control, for good. This is my attack squad. And that's Kelly, one of my best undercover agents. She'll be arriving with the rest of the girls. I'm putting her life and the lives of those other girls in your hands. Don't even think of messing up. If you don't have the brains or the guts for this assignment, give the controls to someone who does.
Are you ready?
The girls should be pulling into the driveway. You're wasting time.
Because believe it or not, if I don't press
Get over
anything,
there.
we'll fail the
Now.
game right now. When is the first step that they tell you in this walkthrough?
12 seconds.
12 seconds. So as you can see, this is my first complaint about this game. If you just hit start after watching the intro, we're now 2 minutes in. And see how there are 10 possible captures, but 0 captured? So if you watch the intro and you want to know how the game is played, or you want to set the scene because you're sharing it with someone, for example, you're already at a disadvantage. You're better off resetting the game and then just hitting start as soon as the game starts.
So when he said you're wasting time, he really meant...
Realistic. Okay, so first one is downstairs hallway.
Get that 12 seconds.
They come. It's pretty scary. Yeah, that's... like we walked out one. Okay, what's the
Okay,
next step?
Bathroom 43. Bathroom 49.
Really? Okay. Oh, that's too bad. It took too long to read. Bye-bye. Doesn't seem particularly concerned. He's like, I got work to do.
Kitchen 120.
Oh.
Okay. He was kind of a jerk.
I mean, they are evil.
Hey! Did you guys see something moving over there?
No, Ashley, I think it's your imagination.
Check out the boat. I am so embarrassed.
You know, this isn't exactly what I imagined, though.
Has anybody seen my chamois bag?
Which one? You got about 1 million of them.
Back off, Birdface. You just better be glad I brought you along.
The only reason you brought me along is because Mom made you.
Shut up!
Well, I can tell this is gonna be fun.
You with me, Control? We're going in.
Hi!
Okay,
Hi!
let's go to
I was so afraid.
You and your charity work is beginning to be much too much. Come, let's visit the girls.
Oh, I like this one. This one's fun. There they go. have to watch the trap. Alright, what's next?
5:30. Gosh, the next one's at 5:36.
Yeah, 4 seconds later. This is why we're using a guide.
Yeah.
I mean, we get to watch a whole trap? These goofy guys.
The next one's at 6:50. There's home.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're gonna get a code from the living room. And then
Okay.
after we get the code, the next trap is in the living
Okay. I think we need to change it right away after this, right? Because it
room.
doesn't
It
say
doesn't
change
say
code.
anything about, like,
Okay.
there's no parenthetical time statement.
Right. I think that's the only one where that happens, so that's good.
Yes.
Okay, so this is a
living
code
room to
change.
get a code,
Okay.
then living room trap.
Lisa, I'm fine. Come
Nice
on,
to meet
Lisa.
you.
Lisa.
What's going on?
That girl looks exactly like Madeline.
Oh, not that again.
No, not that again.
Come on, Studley, we better change that code.
How about red?
Sure.
Okay. Living room 911.
Yeah, they
Okay,
sure
and
changed that code
shoot.
quickly.
Yeah, right?
Wow, they both flew the exact same way. What are the odds?
11:31 downstairs hallway.
I guess he made it out safely.
Yeah.
Look at that scared expression. We better get these. We missed one while that happened, I guess.
Oh.
If you can believe that. I know.
At 12:37 back.
Controversial scene.
Megan, this isn't gonna work. You're not scaring me. Wait. What are you doing? No! Leave me alone! No!
Okay.
So
Now.
we did it.
Yeah, we got it. Or at least we got the one.
Turning into a cat.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad we left that running. There is a special ending for the game if you specifically allow her to get hurt there.
Oh.
Sims calls you out on being like a voyeur and then disconnects you, which I feel like is pretty
Wow,
deserved. Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Like if you miss it and you're watching.
Yeah, exactly. If you watch her the whole
Yeah.
time and then don't do anything
Yeah.
when they show up, yeah, there's like a specific end for that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That was
It's 12:39 right now.
okay. So the next one's 13:50 hallway.
Okay.
And then you have 20 seconds to get a code.
Okay. Oh no, did we lose? Remember that special ending? The number totally went up.
I don't believe what I just saw. Those bloodsuckers just got Lisa, and you had a chance to save her. I put the lives of those girls in your hands, and you screwed up. I'm pulling the plug on you before you do any more damage. Breaking contact.
Like it didn't register you're pressing it?
No, it did. I watched. The number of captured went up, and then I paused. I think we are following the wrong set of directions.
There aren't two different sets of instructions. Instead, it just varies by a few seconds.
Wow, maybe we just have to watch longer there.
Yeah. They expect you to want to stay on the screen.
Maybe.
Resolved.
You know, like the rest of the game where you can't watch what's
Exactly,
happening because you have to keep playing.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, I missed it. I hit the button too early. What's next? Oh, that was so picky. They really tease you with the little meter, too, how it bounces. Sometimes it's only in that window for a second, so if you flub it and it goes, you can't hit it again, like, while it's making the klaxon, and it's just, that's it. Save this kid again. Right. I couldn't tell if that was like a color issue, but no, you're right. He's totally wearing two shirts. Okay, got those two.
Guest bedroom 802.
Did you notice we missed one while we were watching him? Yeah, I know.
And what about Tony? Oh, Tony's just here for the summer. You know, I think he likes Ashley.
Really?
Yes. You can see it in his eyes.
But he's wearing sunglasses.
I mean, you can tell by his face.
And his bod.
Yeah.
Sarah, what is this?
Oh.
Cool.
My father collects weird things. I'll get it.
Wow. Let's check it out.
Come on, hang on. I think there might be some of Sarah's friends. That'd be so
Guys, what's going on?
Get out of the door. Come on, some of Sarah's friends.
Okay, I'll
Being
be
so
down in a
loud,
minute.
someone called the cops. Good, got that. Yeah, now this time...
We're gonna stay for a while. And we have 40 seconds.
Okay,
Maybe
good.
we're supposed to just make sure she's
Yeah, how many augers does it say this one is?
One.
Just one, huh?
1237 1.
Hmm.
But maybe we're supposed to make sure she's okay, and if you don't watch, she's not
Megan.
okay. It
Maybe.
does,
This
it's
isn't
true, it
gonna
doesn't
work.
really make sense.
You're not scaring me.
It's true because there are more, you're right. You're totally
What
right.
are you doing now?
Okay, so that's one.
Okay, yep, that's all it's supposed to be.
Three.
Or 13. Follow
Yeah.
them to the down.
Yeah, good point. They'd be in the bedroom now. Wait, it's not. What's 1315?
Downstairs hall. I guess we just had to watch and see if she's okay. Kind of makes sense.
It does, but that's kind of that's kind of
Feels like it should be in
rude.
the
Yeah.
guide.
Right, because you're encouraged to jump around the rest of the time. The fact that we got it and then still lost is rough.
Okay, now we get a quote from
Whoa! Where did he get that?
Wow.
Wouldn't be very responsible.
Really flipped out.
I don't think you should be hanging around that weird Eddie.
Definitely.
Help!
Lady, you're making a mess.
That tastes like blood.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Jeez, that was pretty intense.
Yeah.
What is it, like 1620?
28, yeah.
Mike, this is Kelly. Come in.
Roger, Kelly, this is Mike.
Code red.
Right, okay, what's your 20?
I'm upstairs, but the girls are all over the
What's
house.
that? Change the code to red?
Be careful. These people are into something a lot worse than what we thought. I think they're vampires or something.
What? Did you say vampires?
Mike, I'm not kidding.
Okay, hold on. We'll tell leader we're coming in.
After this, it goes pretty fast for them.
Okay.
Leader, this is Mike. Come in. Leader, this is Mike. Come in.
Wow, I guess we can't do anything to save him.
I think these might be vampires we're up against here.
Oh, okay. That's actually pretty scary. Alright, where next?
Living room 1726. I thought they were yelling because she's...
Yeah, exactly.
Because they were there.
Way to get their attention. Probably should make sure she's actually safe.
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah, that is probably what we're about.
Her too, that was a heck of a
Oh,
punch.
that's what I meant. Okay, now 1908 downstairs.
Megan, no!
I think this actually gets a little intense.
Yeah.
Come on. Oh, phew, okay.
Control, how could you let that happen?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, what's next?
Knock it down. She was really intense.
What did it say?
She said,
Trap Tony.
oh no, we haven't done that.
Alright, we'll just have to keep going.
Yeah, living room 1920.
Okay. Oh no.
Megan is dead. And yes, you could have saved her. You were responsible for her life, and you screwed up. There's a lot going on in this house. Too bad you're not going to be around to see any more of it. Breaking contact.
It was because we didn't get that one that she got mad about?
Yeah, I think so. I think so the needle was going crazy there.
Yeah.
And I didn't see it go in the red, but at
Yeah.
one point it jumped up really quickly.
Yeah.
What time were we supposed to do it?
Was that downstairs hallway?
Yes.
1908.
I think it went past 1908 by
this
several
has been
seconds.
off a few seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm worried because it goes really fast at the end.
And it's like at that point you've been playing for a while,
Yeah,
you really don't want to
and
mess
you want,
up.
like, the actual time.
And we already know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And we're still losing.
Yeah.
Okay. And they said red, right?
Yep.
Okay. Double check everything. Did we just lose? Oh, phew. Oh my gosh.
You're so nervous.
I am. This game's getting the best of me. It's not scary, but yeah.
Trap that big hog by the back door so we can get out of here. Kelly,
1908?
there.
1908.
We just have to trust that they are, Megan. I can't stand it. Megan, no! Megan, run!
There we go.
Do we have to stay and watch that?
Let's watch it, yeah. When's the next one? Okay, where's that?
Way to go, Control. I knew you could do it.
Nice. Okay.
That feels good. Whoa.
Tony, this is all insane.
I tried to warn you, but you wouldn't listen.
Listen to what? What are you talking about?
Ashley, I tried to save her from the Oggs, but you had to interfere, and now you will pay.
Tony, I don't understand. This is crazy.
Don't be foolish, Kelly. They wouldn't stand in my way. Would you?
Okay, what's next?
Oh, thanks, Control. That was close.
Living.
Oh, yikes.
Still with us? They are. They just saved my life.
Kelly, you all right? Hold it! Nobody move! What is the meaning of this? Please, that won't be necessary.
Who are you?
We're SCAT, Special Control Attack Team. You've got some explaining to do.
Well,
Imagine
in
saying
that
that's
case,
dead
then,
serious.
why don't we all go into the living room and get comfortable? Will you just take it nice and easy, folks? Because
We should probably like watch this. 23:37 is the correct time? No, I didn't, did I? I could have sworn it was red when I hit it.
She's getting away.
Okay, so what's the correct time?
Help me! You've gotta help me, please! Use the trap!
Good call. Got her.
A closet trap!
but it was going to be a surprise.
Thanks.
What's next?
Okay, that.
Is it like what time?
We have 12 seconds.
Okay, let's just go to the bathroom then, right? I imagine. We saw her go away, so we're
did,
probably
although
okay.
we should probably stay. We have over 10 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, follow her to that.
Please use the traps.
We've been using the traps the whole game. Okay. Yep, got him.
And then, you should probably keep watching, because I don't think anybody mad.
Yeah.
But upstairs hallway.
Yeah.
Okay, so upstairs hallway, go in there now.
And what is?
I'm gonna tell you, so it's
All mine
10.
now.
Point at 10.
Got it.
And then stay here for 25, 38 if you want to track.
No, let's not trap Kelly. That's like the cheeky ending.
Thanks, Control. You just saved my life. And you were very good. You saved all my friends. Trapped most of the odds. I'll bet with a little practice you could be perfect.
So see how she.
She gave me fun for not being perfect.
Oh. What happens? We beat the game, and we didn't do the cheeky ending.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I'm so glad we got it that
Me
time.
too. Yeah, even though we missed that one, it didn't trap Jeff
No,
alone.
I know.
Yeah.
Even though we did that enough to win, right?
Yeah.
Did you understand what was happening at the end?
At the very end?
Yeah, with when the family was coming after Kelly.
I have a working theory, but I have no idea.
What is your theory?
I
I'll
don't
look
think
up the
it's
story.
right. I don't think it's probably wrong. So here are the pieces of information we know. We heard about the charity project that the parents of the family have. And
Right,
it has
that
to
was
do with
those
the
poor
Oggs.
augers. Yeah.
They said the Oggs, right? Which I assume is the same thing.
Yeah.
And then he goes, oh, this is too much. And the kids know about them too.
Right, but the kids don't seem to like them.
No, the kids are like,
"Oh,
oh,
the
we
Oggs
have
are
to
here."
go in the basement to see if they're here.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so the parents know. The mom seems to be taking care of them. And then they have house that has traps and cameras. And the traps seem to take people to the basement.
You would think, but
because
when...
they all go down.
This could just be a matter of them reusing an ending. But remember when we did the detrimental trap on the teenager in the entryway, and he said you killed her or you let her die?
Yeah.
Do you think that means the traps are lethal?
So I think it might be lethal for humans, but not for dogs.
Right, because either there are, say, like almost 100 augers, or... Right, it's like they get dumped in the basement and then they like find a way out and come back in.
Like maybe they live in the basement?
Yeah, I guess, right?
And they have blood cakes to feed them?
Yeah.
She eats something weird out of the freezer.
It looks like she's eating the packaging.
Yeah.
Did you notice that when she was holding it? It's like a perfectly square thing, and it looks like red printing on the top, and she bites into it, and I didn't want to say anything and talk over it, but I was like, is she eating like a microwave pizza in the plastic?
I thought it was like a perfectly cut watermelon rectangle somehow.
Sure.
Which like isn't a thing. But
Now, imagine trying to understand that, but in 16-bit color at half the frame rate and with a smaller window in the middle of the screen.
And the mom at the end is clearly trying to like hurt the lead detective lady.
Right, so they must figure out that she's someone special.
Yeah.
Because we don't see what happens to the other teenagers. Like maybe they just run out at some point.
They probably got out. I think that was the whole thing.
Yeah, whereas like it's Kelly's job.
And the SWAT team like help. Right, but Kelly's not supposed to leave. She's making sure they've all left the house.
Right.
Like clearing the house.
Right.
So yeah, I was kind of confused at the end because throughout the rest of it, I was like, well, maybe the husband and wife don't know that they hurt people. Maybe they're like weird monsters they keep in the basement and they think that they can just feed them blood and they're fine, but that they're actually attacking people when they're not home. But I don't think that's the case because the mom was being very I'm calling her mom, I don't know. But she was being very threatening to the detective. So
what do you think was happening then, with all that in mind?
I was kind of right with all the pieces that we just talked about.
I feel like I don't know
I
either.
need to see the plot points, but the game doesn't let you both see the plot points and do the mechanics. Now, what I'd like to do is go in and watch the story because this guide has like all of the plot points and where you are to see them.
But yeah, I agree with you. I feel like I understood the events that we saw.
Yes.
But I don't understand the story at all. So it's been a few weeks since Kayla and I finished the game together, and between then and now, it's come up plenty of times what our thoughts are on the game. Night Trap is not a bad game, but we don't necessarily recommend playing it today. The main problem is, the goal of the game, to see the ending, is inherently antithetical to understanding the story. When you're jumping around every camera angle and trying to make sure you capture all the augers so you don't fall behind and lose the game immediately, you don't actually get to see a lot of the story content. We're pretty sure that someone could come up with an optimized run where you're essentially trapping enough augers to not lose the game, but still have an opportunity to see pivotal story moments and essentially accept having a lower score at the cost of understanding the story better. We've seen the ending, and we still don't understand a lot of things about the story. What's the relationship between the family and the augers? Why is the family capturing the kids? What the heck is that weird thing that woman eats? We don't know what it is. Check it out if you find yourself interested, and if you do decide to check it out, don't pay $180 for your copy like I did. Just get the 25th anniversary edition. It's probably a lot better. Thanks so much for checking this video out. This has been the biggest project I've ever undertaken, and I probably bit off more than I can chew. Let me know in the comments below if there's any other interesting hardware or games that you'd like me to take a look at next. See you next time. So, yeah, that's... How do you end a video, Kayla? Like and subscribe?
Smash the like button and subscribe if you want to see more like this.
And don't forget to ring that bell. Dun dun.
Leave a comment and let me know if you've ever been in a trap.
Yeah, has it ever been nighttime and you've been trapped?
Tell me about it.
Tweet at me, please. And buy my merch.